friends. Today we are reading one of my favorite kinds of books, and I was going to be really fake and put on one of my husband's hockey shirt situations, but that would be a lie, because the truth of the matter is I hate sports in real life, but sports romance, forget about it, okay? Forget about it. Today we have 3 books that I'm hoping I really enjoy. I'm really unsure about one of them. One of them is more scary than the rest, and that is going to be Deep End by Ali Hazelwood, just because I've kind of been told I'm not going to like this book. And I know that this explores, I know that this was marketed as being very kinky, and then people who read a lot of kinky books are like, no, that's like barely dipping your toes into it. So I don't really know where to go with that. As somebody who's actively reading the Pucking Around series, I feel like there's a lot of kinky behavior in those books. So I feel like I'm very desensitized to everything at this point in time. But we're going to be reading Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. This is about, oh my god, what is wrong with me? This is about swimmers and divers, I believe. So, a competitive diver and an ace swimmer. Scarlett Vandermeer is swimming upstream, a junior at Stanford and a student athlete who specializes in platform diving. Scarlett prefers to keep her head down, concentrating on getting into med school and on recovering from an injury that almost ended her career. She has no time for relationships, at least that's what she tells herself. Swim captain, world champion, and all-around aquatics golden boy Lucas, I don't know how to say that last name, thrives on discipline. It's how he wins gold medals and breaks records. Complete focus with every stroke. On the surface, Lucas and Scarlett have nothing in common until a well-guarded secret slips out and everything changes. Once they start an arrangement and the pressure leading to the Olympics heats up, so does their relationship. It was supposed to be just temporary, mutually satisfying fling, but when staying away from Lucas becomes impossible, Scarlett realizes that her heart might be treading into dangerous water. I love the sprayed edges on this. They look like water. I love the UV printed rain water droplets. I think that's really fun. I like that Ali wanted to name this book Wet. I think that's hilarious. I do know that there's kind of like this thing where Lucas is dating Scarlett's like best friend or roommate, and then they break up and she's like, oh, you guys should just date each other because you're both kinky. Which I do find very bizarre, but we'll see how it goes. Okay. Next book, we've got a lesbian soccer book. I do like a sapphic romance, and I don't know that I've really read many soccer books. This is all not my typical sports. I feel like I typically read hockey and football. I've never read about swimmers. I don't know that I've ever read about soccer. I can't really remember. And the other one is going to be F1 or racing of some sort. So, interesting. This says, Grace Henderson has been the star of the U.S. women's national team for 10 years, even though she's only 26. But when she's sidelined with an injury, a bold new startup, Phoebe Matthews, takes her spot. 22-year-old Phoebe is everything Grace isn't. A gregarious jokester who plays with joy that Grace lost somewhere along the way. The thing... Matthews, this is Phoebe. The red-haired one is Phoebe. Okay. The last thing Grace expects is to become teammates with benefits with this class clown she sees as her rival. Phoebe is too focused on her first season as a professional soccer player to think about seducing her longtime idol, but when Grace ends up making the first move, they can't keep their hands off of each other. As the World Cup approaches and Grace works her way back from injury, a miscommunication leaves the women with hilariously different perspectives on their relationship. But they're on the same page on the field, realizing that they can play together instead of vying for the same position. With every tackle, the tension between them grows, and both players soon have to decide what's more important, being together or making the roster. The perfect blend of funny and steamy, Meryl Windsor's Cleat Cute is about being brave enough to win on and off the field. So hopefully that's cute. And then we've got this book, which is Slipstream by Madge Meryl, and I'm believing this is F1, maybe? Something about a racing? I think that's a sport. I would say it's a sport. Yeah, F1. Formula One. Lila Graywood never imagined she'd be spending her summer amid the roaring engines and adrenaline-focused fueled world of a Formula One racing. As a serious documentarian, she has a passion for capturing the raw, unfiltered truth. When her business partner and undisclosed boyfriend Max signs them up to film the Ignition energy drink racing team and then promptly breaks up with her, Lila is alone in a world she despises. Enter Arthur Bianco, a charismatic and enigmatic F1 reserve driver whose career is as tumultuous as the races he's dreaming of winning. When unexpected unexpected speed bumps lead to a secret pact between Lila and Arthur. They embark on a fake relationship, but soon cameras are rolling and the world watches as Arthur's cinematic comeback plays out over a hot, globe-trotted summer. Drawn to his true charm and hidden vulnerability, Lila must confront her own feelings and decide if it's finally time to go off course. So, I think this is exciting. We've got a nice little array here, and sports romance usually works for me, so I'm hoping we have at least some 4 stars here. I don't know if any of these will be 5, but I'm hoping for some 4s. Okay, guys, we are going to be listening to this book tomorrow morning. It's wild to me. I just read this book for a different video. The audio for both of these is the same length, and this book is like 60 pages shorter. Not sure how that really happens, but I will say I did not realize how bad of reviews that this book had prior to getting it. If I don't like it, I'm going to send it to my sister because I know that she really wanted to read it because she used to play soccer and she is a lesbian. But I'm a little bit worried on that regard. People say that it's like reads YA, which is honestly very scary. I guess like the text, the font in this is like really small. Yeah, it's definitely smaller than the other book, but we're gonna get started on this tomorrow. Oh, somebody has their like imprint in this. This is from the library of Sola King. Well, Sola King, it's part of my library now. But yeah, we're going to hopefully enjoy this. I'm going to listen to definitely the whole thing tomorrow. I'm going to listen to this. Probably going to listen to 2 audiobooks tomorrow because tomorrow's going to be a fat work day. But it's 2 a.m. and I do have to get up tomorrow to work. Not like early, at like 9:30. But one thing about me, what time is it? 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6, 6 to 7, 7 to 8 to 9. Yeah, I'm already not going to get 8 hours of sleep. And one thing about me is I need to decompress. And I did just read half of a book, but it pissed me off. So I feel like I'm like awake because it made me mad. So that's that. That's where we're at. We're done with, well, we're done. I haven't even read a single book for this video. Also, I think that this catchphrase on the cover, nothing sexier than playing hard. Very cringe. And I hope that the book is less cringe, but I brought out my other books to do my reviews because my husband's naturally sleeping, of course, because he has to go to work tomorrow. And honestly, wishing him all the luck because he delivers packages for Amazon and there ain't nothing but rain in the forecast for this upcoming week. And if every day this week he says he's buying himself food on the way home from work, I'm not even going to argue it if he's out there in the rain because that sounds rough, buddy. Halfway through Cleat Cute by Meryl Wilsner. This is okay so far. So far it's feeling like a 3. I'm not hating it as much as everybody else's on everybody else that I've read the reviews for. Everybody in their reviews kind of make the same comments about it, the girls feeling very, very young, and I think they're probably talking about Phoebe. This is Phoebe, this is Grace. They're around the same age. They're a couple of years apart. However, I think that Phoebe is like maybe 22, 23, and Grace is maybe like 26. But Grace has been playing professional soccer since she was like 16. She never graduated high school. She was like, had to sign all these forms to be able to play professionally before she was 18. It was this whole thing. So she's been playing for forever, and Phoebe just got brought on to this team. But Phoebe has very much so like the fun, outgoing, like flirtatious personality. She's making friends with everybody. She's flirting with everybody. Da 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 da. And originally it kind of rubs Grace the wrong way because it's super not her personality. And we're getting bits and pieces of the fact that Grace had a relationship with somebody that she like played with and it didn't go well. So Grace kind of stays to herself. She doesn't even really make friends with her teammates because she's the captain and wants to like keep some sort of barrier between her and the other girls. So that's kind of going on, but Grace is they're living in New Orleans, and she's there before the season starts, getting things ready for the season, and Phoebe in her contract has for her to move earlier because she needs to get a second job. She's helping support her family, and as like a rookie, she's not making all that much money. So she wanted to get there early so she could find a second job waitressing, and during this time, she's kind of like forcing Grace to be her friend, being like, well, let's go for runs together, and like, you're local to here, like you have lived here for a while, where should I go get beignets, what should I do, what are some fun things to do around here? And so she's taking her to do all like the New Orleans things, like getting beignets, going to get a po' boy, going to a Mardi Gras parade, doing all these things together. And when Phoebe casually mentions that, oh yeah, like she and Grace were like hanging out, people are like, Grace doesn't hang out with anybody. So it's put Grace kind of in this precarious position, as well as Grace is dealing with some like injury, not necessarily an injury, but she has like a muscle strain, and she's trying to play through it and not tell anybody. And so whenever she and Phoebe hook up, for the first time it comes up because she's in pain in certain positions. Phoebe kind of makes it a rule, we're not hooking up again unless you go get this looked at. And then Phoebe accidentally spills the beans that Grace may be injured. So they're kind of dealing with that. Grace does not know that Phoebe is the one who spilled the beans, but they're like now just kind of like hanging out as friends. Grace has made it abundantly clear that she does not like casual sex, even though they're having casual sex, and she does not want a relationship. And Phoebe's not really necessarily sure what they're doing here, but like, she's down to clown. She is all about, like, she is pro casual sex, she's pro relationships, she's pro whatever people want. So she's kind of not really sure where this is going to go. We've already had multiple spice scenes, and they are quite long. They're like multiple chapters, and I am in fact skipping them because I can't. After like the first 1.5, I'm like, I gotta go. It's too long, it's too much, but so far it's cute. I don't really have any issues with it. I don't think it's 2 stars by any means. So I'm happy about that because I did not have high hopes based on the reviews that I've been seeing about this one. So far, so good. And it has been a few more hours and we are in the same spot. We are looking just as horrible, but we have finished Cleat Cute. And I am happy to come here and report to you that I gave it 4 stars. I actually really enjoyed the second half of this book. There was a lot of talk about different neurodivergent things between ADHD and autism and not being diagnosed with these things and how it can actually like affect you as an adult. And you're seen as being flighty or XYZ when really you're just dealing with something that you don't even know about. So I really liked how that was explored in the second half, as well as there was this underlying point of them like not telling people that they were together and trying to hide their feelings, and just getting to see how like their 2 polar opposite personalities were like interpreting the situation in very different ways. I don't know. I had a really fun time with this. I enjoyed it. Like I said, I'm giving it 4 stars. I do think it's probably like a 3.5, but I'm giving it a 4 stars on Goodreads because it has such a low rating. My 1 rating isn't really going to make a difference to like bump it up any, but I don't really see why people hate it, but I don't know. I thought it was fun. I really enjoyed Phoebe, but I guess I could see her being really annoying to a lot of people. Like, I could see you like reading about her and being like, oh my god, I can't stand her. So maybe that's why some people didn't like it. And I know a lot of people said that they felt very juvenile, but as somebody in their 30s, somebody in their early to mid 20s feels juvenile to me. Especially because I feel like I've been acting like I'm 45 since I was like 15. So overall, it was a fun time. I'm not sure which book we're going to get into next. I know I have the audio for Slipstream, so that may be the next one, but regardless, I will let you know when we start either Slipstream or Deep End. stand here? Perfect. We're gonna be talking about Slipstream because we're about halfway done with it. I'm gonna get ready while I talk to you guys. So this book is about this girl named Lila. She and her boyfriend have this company doing documentaries. She prefers to do documentaries about like politics and things like that, but she's very deeply in like the type of relationship where like her wants and interests and like basically anything that makes her her doesn't matter. And she has had to basically adopt the entire personality of her boyfriend, and he wants to do these sports documentaries, and he's constantly like kind of tearing her down, like almost berating her for the fact that like she doesn't wear makeup and XY. Like he's just really shitty. And so they moved to Texas to work with this guy Arthur, who is a F1 racer. And you know, all is good in the hood until they're there for like 48 hours, and he basically tells Lila that he cheated on her and is breaking up with her. Oh, and this company that like they have that's literally like titled by their last names, she's actually not officially a part of the company because she sent him to go like file the paperwork and he only put his name on it, so he's also firing her. Slimeball, hate this guy. He's awful. Like literally sleazebag piece of shit dude, right? Simply not a fan. So we hate him. Then we flash forward. She gets to talking with Arthur, and he basically wants them to like bamboozle her ex into getting her to still be able to work on this, because he's only going to do the documentary if Lila is a part of it, and then due to a bunch of different circumstances they're also going to fake date. It'll make him jealous, so on and so forth. Lila can't really stand this Arthur guy. She thinks he's really annoying, but as she's getting to know him, she's learning maybe he's not all that bad after all. He basically is trying to get a job with a different team. I don't really know how F1 works, but with like a different country, I don't know. Where he is right now, he's kind of like under his like family's grasp, and he kind of wants to go out on his own. Lila has all of this like family trauma because she is adopted, and her story of ending as adopted kind of is a story of abandonment deeply. Like her mother kept coming in and out of her life, and she's been in and out of foster care, and eventually her mom was like, yeah, I don't want to be your mom anymore. Like pretty much like said that to her, didn't say goodbye, just bounced. So she has all of this trauma about people leaving her and not wanting to open up to people, and he has all this drama going on with his family. And so basically they are now fake dating because his only way to kind of get out of his current contract is to be fired, because he's doing really good in these races, and the more like he does well in the races, the more expensive it's going to get for him to get out of his contract, because it's going to cost new teams more money to buy him out from his current contract, the better he's doing. And Lila really respects the fact that he isn't purposely throwing the races, because if he started doing really bad, it would be pretty easy for him to get out of his contract. But that's just not really in his nature to throw the event. And so she's really like respecting him for that, and they're slowly but surely spending more time together, as you know, fake dating always ends up, and they may or may not be starting to like each other. I think Arthur has kind of always liked Lila, but he thought that she was still in love with her ex. But where we're at now at 50%, she pretty much has like said to him and to the ex, like to his face, because they were like best friends in college. She's pretty much just like, yeah, like the truth of the matter is like I feel like we were just kind of pushed together to date, and I never really was in love with you, so sorry, not sorry. But so far it is fine. It has a pretty low average rating. It's like a 3.5 or a 3.6, and it is feeling like a 3. Like there's nothing really that great about it. I do really love the cover. I think the cover is the best part currently, but the story itself has so far just been okay. Like, very basic. You know what I mean? Nothing about it is making me swoon or kick my feet. Nothing about it is revolutionary. Nothing about it is all that deep. It feels like the author is trying to make it a deeper story than it is, with her like adoption background and like her traumas. But I just feel like we're not going deep enough, so it almost feels like, what's the point? Just make it like a rom-com if we're not gonna go like deep into these like more difficult topics of her abandonment. But yeah, it's kind of rare. Also, the MMC is blonde, and that always is like a downer for me because I don't like a blonde man, so instantly I don't think he's that cute. But me and my husband are about to go on a lunch date. Basically, the time I'm filming this, last Thursday, I went to like Craft Fest, which was great. But my husband, he works Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and he has Thursday, Friday, Saturday off. So last week, you know, he worked Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Then I left Thursday, and I was gone Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I came home Monday, and then he's been working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So it's like our first reunited time after like nearly 2 weeks of like not having time to hang out with one another. So we're gonna go get lunch. It's kind of cold out. Like, I live in Texas, so please tell me why it's like 60 something degrees out in May. Basically May. Tomorrow's May 1st. But even in April. But it's gross out there. It's raining. I don't really know why I bothered doing my hair because it's quite literally about to get fucked up. But I'm gonna finish this when I get home. I still have a bit of work to do. Not like a lot of work to do, but like I'm gonna find things to do until I finish this book because the audio is due tonight. So let's go finish her up. And just in the nick of time, it is 5 o'clock. We are done. I did in fact give this book 3 stars. It was fine. There was, again, nothing groundbreaking about it. Am I going to remember it 8,000 years from now? No, but if somebody says, Hannah, do you have a suggestion for an F1 romance? This one was pretty cute. It was cute. I liked the couple together. It just didn't do anything particularly special. You know what I mean? But that is going to be it for this one. And then the last book we have, I believe, I don't even remember what we've read in this. Oh, Cleat Q. For this sports romance video is going to be Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. And I'm interested to see how this goes. I do love this like color combo in the cover of this one. But we will see where the wind takes us with that. Miraculously, my audio hold for this book came in last night, just in time for me to listen to this book today and finish out this video. The books that I have been reading recently, I'm in such a reading slump. Everything is sucking. I've had my average rating last month was a 3.3. I've only finished 1 book so far this month. It's the 2nd of May. I already have a 2, and the book I'm almost done with on my Kindle is also feeling like a 2. I've been trying to steer away from romance because I felt like I was getting a bit romanced out, but everything else is literally making me want to die. So hopefully a hee hee ha ha romance by Miss Ali Hazelwood will do the trick. Hoping I at least give it a 4. But at this point, I just want something that's going to hold my attention because everything I've been reading has been so boring. And I need something fun. And I feel like this is, if maybe not incredible, will be fun. And that's what I need right now. Y'all look. I fixed the lights. I don't think we're focused. They're fixed there. They're fixed here. Amazing times to be alive, truly. It took me 30 minutes to adjust them, but we are about halfway through Deep End by Ali Hazelwood, and as of right now, this is feeling like a 3-star read. So my relationship with Ali Hazelwood, I was thinking about this and I was like, I need to explain to you guys. I have read Check and Mate, the 3 science books, Love Hypothesis, Love Theoretically, Love on the Brain. So I've read 4 of her books. I've never read Bride or Mate. I have no interest in that, nor do I have interest in the like anthologies she has. So that's like my history with her. I gave Check and Mate, her YA book, 5 stars. I gave the pink one, Love on the Brain, 4 stars, and I gave both the orange and blue science ones, Love Theoretically and The Love Hypothesis, 3 stars. I unhauled the blue one and sent it to my sister because I thought she would like it more than me. I still have the orange one. So that's kind of where we are at. The reason I keep picking up Ali Hazelwood books, like, the truth of the matter is, as you can see here, Love on the Brain is kind of like buried. I have met Miss Ali, and she was just 10 out of 10. First off, I didn't know that she was like from Italy, and honestly, a queen, icon, amazing. I love Italy. My husband and I went there on like a delayed honeymoon, and it was best place I've ever been. Literally on planet Earth. Like, Venice. If you ever have the chance to go to Venice, go to Venice, okay? So I met her there. I talked to her for probably like 15 minutes. She did like a panel, and she is so nice and funny that it makes me want to like her books more than I do. And I don't know if you guys have ever been like that. Like, for example, at the time I'm filming this, the last year Riley Sager released With a Vengeance, I ended up giving that book 4 stars, and I feel like a lot of people hated that book, but I think I gave it 4 stars because I went to an event, I met him, I got my picture taken with him, I listened to him talk about writing the book, and I feel like when you have that connection with somebody, it like makes you want to like root for them. And so I feel like I want to like her books more than I do. And so in this book, we've got our main character, Scarlett. And Scarlett is a diver. She recently got injured and she's kind of struggling getting back into diving. She has this mental block of getting hurt again. And she also has this like bad relationship kind of with men. Her dad was quite abusive to the point that her stepmother ended up like adopting her and getting her out of that situation because her dad was awful towards them. So she does feel very uncomfortable around men for the most part. Our male main character's name is Lucas. He does have like a really nice accent, I will admit that. He is an Olympic swimmer. They go to the same college. He, in the first couple of chapters, is dating this girl Penelope, who is the captain of the diving team. And like, kind of friends with Scarlett. They're not like super close, but they're friendly. And so Penelope's kind of talking to the girls and is like, yeah, I think I need to break up with Lucas. We've been together for so long, but like, he's just into things in the bedroom that I'm not into. Like, he's into kink and BDSM, blah, 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 which is fine. I am not a part of that community, but it doesn't offend me. I'm fine reading about it. It just doesn't get my rocks off, you know what I mean? Like, the idea of being told what to do, hate it. The idea of being tied down, hate it. But yeah, so Scarlett kind of goes to Penelope and is like, well, if you have any questions, like, I am into that as well, and I can help you out in whatever way, shape, or form you need to feel more comfortable. And she's like, no, I just don't think we're compatible. Maybe you should just like date him because you guys clearly like the same things sexually, which is like kind of odd for her to be like, well, you should just date him, but whatever. The thing that's really irritating me is that halfway is about 200 or so pages. In those 200 pages, we have said probably no less than 6 times that's so 50 Shades. And I just think that it's being really overused, oversaid, and to the point that it's really cringy. Because, like, I don't know. I feel like, again, I'm not part of this community, so I don't really have a right to be, like, offended by it. But I feel like grouping all of the, like, kink community into 50 Shades of Grey is so overdone and so corny and so cringe, and it's actually to the point that it's pissing me off. I also don't really like Scarlett. I think she's quite annoying and kind of like very giving pick-me energy. I'm not really liking her. I do like Lucas, but they've basically like slept together once. I listened to like half the scene and then I skipped the rest of it because I was bored. It was really long, and there was like some phrasing about when she was giving him a blowjob of like him like feeding the rest of the cum down her throat, something like that. I don't know. The wording was just really not working for me, so I just kind of skipped over that, which I do oftentimes in romance books. Is if the whole chapter is like spice, we move past it because I'm here for the story more so than anything. But so far it's like fine. It's giving 3 stars. I love the cover. I hope I can give it 3 stars just so I can keep it, because I do think that it is a beautiful cover, but we will see. So far, it's like fine. It's fine. I do, in fact, look insane, but we did finish Deep End, and I did give it 3 stars. It was just okay. There was a lot of spice, which is like whatever. I expected that, but like I read another book recently where it felt like, was it in this video? What was the book? Yeah, it was the car one, where it felt like there was trying to be all of these deep things. Like there's this situation with Scarlett where she has this really toxic father who's like horrible to her, and she's in therapy and she was raised by her stepmother. I wanted more of that story, whereas I feel like we like started to dive into it, but it wasn't enough. And with her being like them being like 21 newly in college, well, he's a senior, I think she's a junior, she's 1 year behind him. I don't know, I just prefer a more deep romance, and it felt surface level, but that's to be expected when you're reading a college romance. I'm not really expecting it to be groundbreaking, but what did we read in this? We read this, we read the car book. I don't even remember what the other book we read was, but kind of tragic because I do tend to really love sports romance, and so having multiple 3 stars is a bit saddening, but it's just the truth of the matter. And I'm not going to pretend like I liked it more than I did, because for me it was deeply a 3-star read. But with that being said, we are done with this video. If you made it to the end, leave a water droplet emoji down below, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye guys!